Hello, this is Emily Woodward, and this is my model for molecules and extended structures. Okay, so here we have a oxygen atom, we have a carbon atom, we have a hydrogen atom. What we can do to make a simple molecule is take our oxygen atom, carbon atom, add another oxygen atom, put these two together, and see here we now have CO2. That is a simple molecule. Next we would take some hydrogen atom. We could also use another hydrogen atom. Sorry, it's kind of hard to hold the camera and show you all what I'm doing here. Let me try to set it. Okay. So I have hydrogen atom, second hydrogen atom, and another oxygen atom. I'm going to connect both hydrogen atoms. Here. Which now gives us H2O, otherwise known as water, which is also known as a liquid. Our CO2 that we made is also known as a gas. Next, to get into extended structures, I'm going to use sodium chloride. I have our sodium atom here, our chlorine atom here, and when we put these two together, it makes sodium chloride. Once we have our sodium chloride, that also is known as salt. So, to continue our extended structure, we would simply just make a cube. Add, just like we used in our molecules here, we're going to just simply keep adding on sodium and chloride. So I already have a extended structure like so. You all can see that we just added on same thing on both sides. So we could keep this extended structure going and make even more molecules of salt and add our chlorine to the sodium, and then add our sodium over here to the chlorine, and as you see, you can obviously would keep going if we had more balls. You can do this with many different molecules, make them extended structures. This is a bunch of salt right here. Some weaknesses of a structure or a model like this would be that it's very fragile. It would easily be broken. It could, it's not very, there wasn't a lot of thought going into it. There could definitely be better ways to come up with models to show the students how to create extended structures. Some strengths of this model would be the visualization of the molecule. Any model where you're explaining and allowing the students to kind of conduct on their own, this would be a good way to get the students involved and something easy for them to conduct on their own. let's see here. Some things I found in my research that I thought were pretty interesting. On a YouTube video, which I've seen very often, they have used their model would be the whiteboard. They have little whiteboards with a dry erase, and they use those in little groups to write down their the information they found or anything that they're going over in class. Another thing that I found was the modeling activities that we do allow students, and it gives students opportunities to create images for complex phenomena that they would otherwise have difficulty understanding, which means that it would be easier for the student to visualize this molecule right here, rather than me sitting here and telling them, well, if you take two oxygen atoms and one carbon atom and you get CO2, it would be a lot easier for me to show this model for them and then understand it, which is very important. Another fact that I found was we have found in our work, this is a quote from one of the articles that I read, we have found in our work that models serve 4 important roles in students' learning science content and about the nature of science. And those 4 important roles in students' learning science content are data synthesis, representations of science ideas, substitutes for natural phenomena, and hypothesis or claims. Very interesting. Let's see. Oh, I like this one a lot. It's from another article. It talks about 2 different phases that that a lesson has. It talks about phase 1, an idea eliciting structure. Students observe a focusing event and then develop explanations and initial models without information from the teacher. So what that is saying is that the students are developing models before getting any information from the teacher, which is basically what we want them to do. We want them to think about what they know before the teacher having to tell them anything. In phase 2, in a guided modeling discussion, such as a model like this, we get the teacher will eventually give that to them, and that will help them improve their initial explanation that they had before the teacher would teach anything. Okay, well, I think that I've covered it all. I hope you all enjoyed my video, and see you soon.